Hi guys, this is my second video. I've waited a week specifically so I could have a little bit of content. The week that went past I did 4 runs in total, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then yesterday being the longest of the runs. I just want to sort of go through the runs quickly with you. So Monday was a short, comfortable run. There was no plan to run the run fast by any means. It was to do something in sort of endurance pace, if you want to call it that. Tuesday was slightly different. It was a shorter run, in fact, but the intensity was higher. The idea was to build leg speed over short distances. I'd run several hundred meters as fast as I could and then slow down and run then a longer distance at a slower pace and then again speed up as I went along. Thursday was the challenging day for me. If you've been following, you would have noticed that I posted some stuff on having hypos or low sugars while running and how much of a danger that actually posed to us as diabetics being athletic at the same time. Thursday I went into my run. Again, it was a short run, or it was intended to be a short run at a comfortable pace. But from the get-go there was something that wasn't right. My heart rate was higher than it had been in all my other runs sort of scenario. Other than that, I actually didn't feel funny. It's just something didn't sit quite right with me. And at about the 4 kilometer mark, I thought it best to check my sugar to see where I was standing. I was feeling a little bit irritable. My support team sort of got the brunt of that, and sorry, aka the missus. But I took a look at my sugar, and at the 4K mark, I was sitting at 2, which is pretty scary. It's hard to recover from something like that. You feel drained. I want to use the word broken, but that is sort of how you feel. It's demoralizing. I ate some fudge, took some Fanta, tried to push the sugars up, walked for a couple of 100 meters, hoping that would change the scenario a little bit. Checked the sugar again, and it had in fact dropped even more to about 1.8. And at that stage I decided that running or attempting to run any further was detrimental to my health, and I called it quits. To a degree though, I didn't ultimately call it quits. I came home, recomposed myself, got the glucose in, allowed the sugar to rise a little bit, got hold of my coach and said to him that this is what had happened, and I had full intentions to go back out in a couple of hours and to run the run again, which is exactly what I did. And the reason I did it was because if my sugar drops while I'm on the mountain, I can't stop. I can't turn around and walk away from it. There's nowhere to go. You have to pick yourself up and carry on going. So I think it was sort of the high point of the week. It was a low, literally, but it was the high point because I was able to pick myself up and to do the run again and complete it. Saturday was different because it wasn't a run on the road. It was about getting real mileage in, and it needed to be on an off-road track, which is what I did. After Thursday's experience, I needed to try and work out what sort of carbohydrates I'd carry or proteins to ensure that my sugar levels were at the right point. And of course, I didn't want to use whatever muscle I have as an energy source. I want to use the fat and the glycogen levels within the system. Went out, did the run. I started with a sugar at about 12. 4Ks into the run, I actually stopped running to check my sugar and it dropped to 10. At 8 kilometers, I had stopped again to check my sugar and it dropped to 7.5. And I thought that was pretty good. I wasn't yet halfway, but I was feeling very, very comfortable. The run was very good. Carried on going, picked up the pace a little bit, hit some hills, and at about 15 kilometers, I checked my sugar again and I was sitting at 5. At that time, I wasn't concerned. I knew I had the glucose on me, so I took the glucose as I needed, made sure that the carbohydrates were in the system, walked for a couple of meters just to keep the blood going, didn't stop, and carried on with the run. And I'm happy to say that I finished it. And the run that I actually finished is the furthest distance I have run in probably 20 years. So that was also a highlight for myself as we're going along in this challenge. I think it's important to take a step back and to think about my run on Saturday and how easy it is to give up on things. This includes from the Thursday sort of scenario. With the low sugar, it's quite easy to throw in the towel and go, I'm diabetic, this is risky, I could easily die on the road. And considering I actually didn't have any symptoms or wasn't showing any signs of a sugar low, it's a very real fact that this is what could have happened. Important lesson I learned on Saturday was to keep going forward. Run when you can run. When you can't run, walk, but never stop going forward. The amount of time you lose, and I'm not just talking about running, I'm talking about in life, in business, in relationships. When you stop, you lose something, and that is time. Time is something that you can never, ever get back. So carry on running when you can run. When you can no longer run, walk, but never stop. Never, ever give up. It's important. And I think when I look at the times that I ran on Saturday, knowing that I had actually stopped to check my sugars, but then figured out how to check the sugars during the run without having to stop, there were a lot of minutes that could have been saved and could have been added to my time. It's not a time run. Yes, I've got 30 hours to do the 100 kilometers when race day comes to it, but it's about moving forward. And I think that's an important lesson in life. Keep moving forward. I'm going to do some more blogs going forward this week. I'll probably do a video next week, Saturday or Sunday, depending on how the runs go. I've got a whole lot of stuff to do at work as well, so time is a bit of an issue for me. But carry on following what I'm doing if you've got the time to do so. Throw some comments in. I'd like to hear what you guys have done. If any of you got out there, did a bit of a run or a walk, or if you've taken up your own sort of challenges, or what is challenging to you at this current moment. Life is important regardless of who you are. I talk as a diabetic, I talk as a husband, I talk as a father. Make something of it. I'll see you later. Cheers.